Are you listening? This ain't no quiet thing. We're screaming out our lungs. Hey, are you listening? Hey, are you there? Hey, are you listening? Or do you just not care?
Well, hey, are you listening? This is a podcast exploring the past, present, and future of Christian music. My name is Joel. I'm here with my good friend Brandon, and we connected over a mutual love of some particular artists, but also have pretty different tastes. And so we get to experience some new artists from each other while inviting some friends along for the ride. Brandon, how are you today?
Doing fantastic today. How are you doing, Joel?
I'm great. It's raining here in South Carolina today. It's been a little bit since we had some rain. And so even though I got drenched coming in to record today, I'm happy. Happy for the rain.
It's good that you're happy for the rain.
Yeah. Are you happy for the rain?
I'm happy that other people are happy for the rain. Doesn't really help me at all.
You have grass at your house.
Yeah, but I don't want it to grow.
Okay. All right. Well, Brandon, we have a guest joining us in just a little bit. It's Jason Dunn, formerly of Hawk Nelson, currently of Jason Dunn and Dunner. You're pretty excited about that one, right?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like Hawk Nelson was someone that really helped me. I feel like the later part of high school, going into college, and even now with his solo stuff, had the opportunity to see him last year, and so super pumped to kind of ask him a little about these new tours he's been going on and what the future holds.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun conversation for sure. So we'll get into that in just a little bit, but let's first talk about what's in the news.
What's in the news? What's in the news?
All right, Brandon, do you know anything that's in the news?
I don't know anything that's in the news.
Well, I have one thing
Yeah.
that I was excited about personally. There's a new Kickstarter out that is also Rich Mullins related. I like to highlight all of the Rich Mullins related Kickstarters. And so I don't know if you knew this, but before Rich Mullins was Rich Mullins, he started his music career in Cincinnati with a regional ministry band called Zion. And they released one album in 1981 called Behold the Man. And Rich wrote all the songs. And so it's kind of like his first music project. And so the opening track of the album is called Praise to the Lord. And after he wrote it, it was discovered and later recorded by Amy Grant and called Sing Your Praise to the Lord, which is one of her first hits. And so this will be like the Rich version. But yeah, they are releasing this record. It'll be on vinyl, on streaming. It's kind of been missing and disappearing, but this will be kind of a peek back behind into the early life of Rich Mullins. So if you're into that, let's go join that Kickstarter.
That's really cool. You know, one thing I like about us, Joel, is that we never ask for people's money. We just like to tell them where they can spend it. So we'll never ask for your money, but we will say, but please, can you send $10 to buy this or whatever?
Go get that vinyl. Pick up the Jason Dunn vinyl, the new record.
You know, I know some people are so like anti-Kickstarter, and to me, it's always felt weird because I love the opportunity that I get to help someone I believe in.
Yeah.
And I get to like get a cool perk, you know, like I get a t-shirt or I get an autographed CD or whatever. So to me, stuff like a Kickstarter or like a GoFundMe, I feel like it's really cool opportunities for fans to get to invest and support things they believe in.
Totally. Yeah, it's kind of like you get to be an insider in a lot of ways. I think it probably has a bad taste in people's mouths because it's not like a guarantee.
Yeah.
And so like I've had a few Kickstarter campaigns that I've bought into that never came to fruition. And so I think people get mad about that and they get mad at the whole platform. And I get it.
Yeah.
It is always a little bit of a risk, but
I will say, I think the only times I get annoyed is when people say stuff like, pay $75 and we'll send you one CD. Then I feel like it gets a little like, you got to have it at least like a, hey, pay
right.
$10 and we'll send you digital, or $20 and we'll send you like a physical CD.
Yeah.
So I think that's my old problem. So it's like $1,000 and you get a t-shirt and a pencil.
I do like the options. I remember I remember when Starflyer was doing a Kickstarter, which I think they maybe only done it once. And it was for I Am a CEO.
Yeah.
That record. And I remember getting on and being like, oh, this is cool. Starflyer's got a new record out. And this was kind of I'll be honest, this was my like introduction back into Starflyer 59. But I got on and saw how much the vinyl was. And I actually messaged through on Kickstarter, and I'm like, this is kind of expensive for a vinyl record. I don't know if it was Jason Martin that responded to me or not. But,
So that's why
anyways.
Jason hasn't been on our podcast.
But you know what? I did it. I have the vinyl, and it's a great record.
It
and
is.
I'm glad that I invested the money in it, and it kind of brought me back into the world of Starflyer 59. So I have no complaints about it on this side of it. I just wasn't happy at the time. But knowing what every Starflyer vinyl can go for these days, like I really want to get Fashion Focus, and everybody makes mistakes on vinyl, but they go for about $300 on eBay. And I don't have that kind of money. So that's all right. That's the news. Let's talk about what we've been listening to lately. Brandon, what have you been listening to lately?
Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of an easy answer, but Jason's Dunn new record. It's been really cool to get to dive into it and just have him releasing music. And, you know, when you listen to it, it just feels like this is something like he wanted to release. This isn't a record label saying, hey, man, we need you to put something out. And I don't know. I just feel like you can tell whenever a band is putting out something just because versus something that they feel like they need to say, or that they, you know, whatever the case is. So I've been really enjoying diving into that and just getting, you know, I feel like it's been a really cool year for pop punk. You know, Grace Graber doing her thing over here, Jason doing this thing, and I don't know. I feel like it feels like it's like 2011 again. Just getting to enjoy some pop punk.
Don't forget about Gracie.
Gracie too.
Yeah,
All of the Graces.
really good stuff. I don't think we've recorded an episode since the full drop of Idle Threat's new record, You'll Forget the Sun. But man, I've really been enjoying that album a ton and spent a lot of time listening to it. And I feel like it's like there's so much variety on it, from songs that my kids listen to and they're like, this is really cool, to songs that they listen to and they're like, what is this? I feel like that's just the variety of expressions that I've experienced. But no, it's but yet it's like still a cohesive record. And it's so well done. I've just really, really been enjoying that record.
I think with a record like that, you know, honestly, as it crept closer to releasing, I was kind of worried because I feel like we'd really built this up. And I was like, oh man, I hope this isn't like it's amazing. Then you get it and you're like, oh, this is awkward. But to me, like it's like I feel like it's better than like even what I expected.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the singles already had me excited, but it was cool just to sit down and say from front to back, this is really cool. And honestly, it got me really excited. Just thinking, okay, we're a few months down the road from starting to kind of put together top albums of the year, and I've said this before. But I think this podcast does such a good job of, for the people that are like, well, there used to be good music, is showing that like, no, there are so many bands out there, from the Idle Threads to Jason to Grace and Gracie and, Gable Price. All of those bands are putting out stuff that's incredible right now. And it just makes it's a great time to be a fan of music.
Yeah, Gracie just dropped a new single this past Friday called Hot Air Balloon. And I'll be honest, I didn't listen to it until today. And I was My kids love the Gracie album, and so like my daughter will turn it on in the car, which is really cool. But she turned it on, and it got to that, which is like the last track of the record, and I was listening to it, and I was like, man, this is like the best song on the record so far that I've heard. It's like the songs just keep getting like better, which is wild. But
That's really cool.
It's a great track too. So, all right, we are going to check the mail.
Check the mail. Check the mail. Who, what, when, how, why? Check the mail.
All right. Well, today's question comes to us from friend of the show and married to Brandon, Jordan. Jordan asks this. Let's say you were in a band, you're playing a show. What's one merch item that you want to have on the table? Where are you going after the show? And what's a must-have green room snack? These are the kinds of questions that the people really want to know.
These are my kind of questions. The merch thing, I already know my answer for that. And I've had this idea for 15 years and no one has done it yet. And I feel like you're going to be just printing money with this idea.
Okay.
And it's even more relevant
Artists,
now.
listen.
Yeah, if you're an indie artist out there, listen, because I'm about to blow your mind with this idea, okay? You know, recent years, merch has skyrocketed. I mean, T-shirts are $40 now if you go to a concert.
Yeah.
So you need to have cheap alternatives. I mean, you can have your 8x10 signed and sell that for $10 or $15, but it's difficult to carry that around. So my idea back in the day was, why not go get your like logo or a song printed on a bunch of like sugar packets? So you get that printed off, and then midway through your show, you tell people like, all right, everyone ready for the solo? Then you give it to the crowd and they get to shake like imagine if you had like 5,000 people shaking the like little shakers. I mean, those things, to get your logo printed on them, maybe 5-10 cents you're getting printed. You could slap $1 on those. Think about the kids that come to your concert who are like, oh, man, I don't got money to go spend $50 on a hoodie. $1 though, I'll take 10 of those easy at a concert. So if you're listening out there, sugar packets, and you can use them afterwards too. Put them in some tea and some coffee, but swallow it if you want.
Didn't you say that you gave them out to the crowd so they could shake them during the
Oh no, you're
set?
selling them and saying,
okay.
"Hey, join it." I mean, you could give them out too. I mean, it's cheap enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was pretty excited about where you were going. You're like, this is the idea.
It checks all the boxes off. There's nothing out there that's more genius.
Let me give my merch
Okay.
item. So for me, it's just got to be vinyl. Because that's the one thing that I want. Sometimes I'll buy a t-shirt if it's like a really cool t-shirt.
Yeah.
And I like, actually, I'm kind of into like the little metal pins.
Okay.
Not that I have a practical use for them, but I have a whole jar of them from different things. And so I'm kind of into those. I think they're pretty cool, but we should get some for the podcast, actually. We can put them up on the merch store.
And some sugar packets.
Sure, Brandon. But vinyl, I think because my band, Bellador, we never get to put our record out on vinyl, and it's just something I've always wanted to see happen. And so that would be really exciting. So
when you go, do you just get like the full size, or like if people are selling like singles, do you like that more? Like I guess how much are you paying normally? $30, $40 for
probably
a full
30,
LP?
yeah.
I mean, if someone had, here's a 2-song, like 2 sides, was it a 45? And they're selling it for like $15. Do you feel like you're picking that up, or you're like, no, just give me the full?
I mean,
one?
it depends on is it just 2 songs off the record?
Yeah, like they're 2 singles.
Oh, yeah, I would buy the album.
Oh, okay.
But if it's like, this is a lot of bands back in the day used to put out like those singles,
Mm-hmm.
but they would do like one side this is like a cover song that we did, and this is the only place you can get it.
Oh, okay.
And then the other side is like one of our tracks off the record.
Okay.
Then I would totally pick that up.
Yeah.
Like Fiber and Frenzy did that when they covered like Mamma Mia by ABBA on one side. And
Yeah.
then they had just like one of their tracks off the record on the other side. And I
Okay.
like, totally bought that thing up. Yeah.
I think there's two ways to take this. If it's just me and the boys are going to Waffle House.
Okay.
If we're inviting fans, I'm not taking 40 fans to Waffle House, or someone's going to get like stabbed or shot by someone. What I would do is after the show, I would make like taquitos for everyone. So if you, hey, come on afterwards, we're going to hang out. We're going to eat some like little like mini tacos or some taquitos. So I'd have maybe a couple of air fryers on the bus, or like a little mini oven or something. So I think that's what I would like to do, is just say, hey, come on, come hang out here.
I like that your band is successful enough to have a bus with the air fryers on it.
I think Me Without You back in the day, this was like before I listened to them, they used to do like potlucks with the fans. So like their fans would just bring, and they'd have like a big potluck. So I mean, I'd like to do that, but some people bring weird stuff. But if we're cooking the taquitos.
I remember going to IHOP after a Squad 5-0 show one time with Squad 5-0, and that was really cool. But IHOP's not my favorite. I much rather would have gone to Waffle House probably. I think if I had to say, though, I would go the local great Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
Like, let's get some chips and queso. Let's just dig into all the stuff
Yeah.
with chips and queso. Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think snack. I think maybe like the Nature's Bakery fig bars. I mean, if we're cooking taquitos afterwards, if we're not cooking those, I think it'd be cool to have some taquitos. But I also don't want to get like sick on stage. So I think like the Nature's Bakery bars, maybe some Bob's Red Mill bars, and then to drink. I think just like a mix of zero sugar sodas. So maybe like a Coke Zero, zero sugar 7-Up or something.
Yeah.
I think that'd be nice just to walk in and have in the green room.
I like that. I'm with you on the drinks for sure. You always hear the stories of the bands that put like M&Ms on their rider, but you have to take all the green ones out or something.
Yeah.
But I don't think that I would do that. Honestly, instead of M&Ms, I'm going to go Reese's Pieces. I just think they're superior.
Jordan has an interesting story about a pretty famous band being pretty dramatic about their green room needs and wants.
Oh, I believe it.
Next time you talk to her, you should ask.
I will definitely ask her. Maybe she wants to share it on the podcast.
I think she would, but I feel like it's best if we don't.
I understand that. That's cool. We also got a comment from friend of the show, Andrew. And he let us know that for the rest of the month of May, Bojangles has buy one, get one free biscuits with promo code MAYBiscuits. So I'm pretty sure this episode will come out before May is over. So you'll have a few days to still go get buy one, get one biscuits. Bogos.
You got to bring a friend with you. 'Cause those biscuits, I don't think I could sit down and eat 2 of them.
Man, Bojangles has killer biscuits. If they do one thing right, that's probably what it is.
We should just start like after the podcast going out. We could do a meet. That's where we go after our concert. If you're listening to this, like 2 weeks ago at the local Bojangles at 5:00.
You can find us every Sunday at 5 at the local Bojangles.
How much do you think Bojangles have to pay you for you to do that?
Not much,
No,
honestly.
every Friday, every Sunday though.
My family had Bojangles for dinner last night, so
I didn't get that invite.
sorry, Brandon. My apologies. We picked it up on the way home because it was convenient.
Oh, okay.
So got one right across the street.
That's true.
So, well, if you have questions or fried chicken comments, you can reach out to us at heyareyoullisteningpod@gmail.com. Let's play a game.
Let's play, it's time to play a game. Let's play, it's time to play a game.
So, Joel, whenever I think of pop punk, I think about Jason, his former band, Hawk Nelson. And I think for a lot of people, they introduced us to pop punk. And I know a while back we had a conversation. I believe Jordan was on with that episode where we discussed what is pop punk.
It brought a little bit of drama in the comment sections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we do here. So we're here to bring a little more drama.
Okay.
So we debated like what music is pop punk, but now Joel, I'm just gonna give you some different items and people, and you're gonna tell me if they're pop punk, and I need you to defend a little bit. Okay.
Okay. So items and people. So like basically, I'm defending whether they're like edgy, but still like palatable.
However you interpret pop punk, you tell me if this person is or isn't. Okay.
Okay, I gotcha.
So first off, Jason Dunn. Do you think that Jason Dunn is pop punk?
Well, Jason Dunn has to be the epitome of pop punk, right?
Okay.
Because obviously he's the lead singer of a pop punk band. He just put out a new pop punk record.
Okay.
But also, like, I get the vibe from him that he's, like a little bit on the edge, but also just super nice dude.
Okay. Vans.
Vans. Yeah, totally.
The shoe, by the way,
Right.
just in case someone out there listening.
I understood that. Just Vans in general. Are we talking minivans or full size? Yeah, I think Vans are pretty. I mean, they probably originally fell into the skater punk territory, but now they've been like popularized so much to where like kids that don't listen to punk music would still wear them, but they're like a little edgy, fashionable.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Next up, HOAs, homeowner associations.
No. HOAs are the worst of all of us. Like, put out in the world. They're not palatable at all.
What music genre would you say they are?
HOAs.
Yeah. Jazz.
No. I probably like bro country.
I like that. Next up, longboards.
Longboards. I think longboards are probably less pop punk than regular skateboards.
Okay.
So, but longboards are more like popular now, and so that could just be like age speaking.
Okay. Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan was actor turned president. He was definitely popular.
When you think of pop punk, like, do you think if Jason Dunn said, "Hey, we got a special guest joining us on stage tonight," or Ronald Reagan?
I don't really think so. Yeah, I'm not going to defend that one.
Okay. Lunchables.
No, Lunchables are like Lunchables are like, yeah, no. They're like bottom of the barrel. I mean they're like packaged up like pop punk would be. But there's nothing aggressive on the inside. It's just like low quality, like mediocre food.
What would you need to spice it up? Like some spice or a knife in there?
Knife.
If your kid said, "Hey, look, Dad, I got a Lunchable," what about it would you say? Well, that's gone pop punk.
Maybe if it was like spicy chicken nuggets instead of regular. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Chain wallets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it works. I mean, that was a punk thing. In middle school, I wore a chain wallet.
Were you pop punk back then?
Yeah. It was super annoying every time me and the other chain wallet people sat down in our desk because the chains would like constantly be hitting the desk. I don't think I lasted that long in one of those, but
I didn't put it on here, but I thought about putting on like Joel Ainsworth before 20 and after 20. Next we got just a few more heartbreak.
Just in general?
Yeah, just in general, heartbreak. Like your gal has broken your heart.
It's a little more emo than pop punk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bojangles.
I almost mentioned Bojangles when we were talking about Lunchables.
Well, I don't like that. For the sake of the sponsorship, don't clarify that. For the sake of Andrew being a friend and fan.
Did I ever tell you about the time that my Bojangles app got hacked and they got my credit card number and I had to go through the like pain of changing my credit card everywhere. That just made me angry. And I think it was somebody that worked at my local Bojangles that like stole the number. Which is really annoying. And so, I mean, I guess that's a pretty punk rock move.
Stealing people's information.
But yeah, I'll give Bojangles pop punk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, Monster Energy drinks. If you say no, you got to tell me which drink is pop punk.
Well, so at Furnace Fest, Monster Energy's always there giving out free energy drinks. And so actually the only energy drink that I've ever had was at Furnace Fest, and it was a free Monster. And it was fine, but like never again. And so I guess in that sense, like maybe Monster Energy's pretty, but I feel like the brand that was also there, they were selling, though not giving away for free, which I guess giving your stuff away is pretty punk DIY. But the other brand that was popular at the time was Liquid Death. And they had Liquid Death water, and I felt like that was a lot more punk rock than Monster Energy.
Okay, I think that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, Joel. Thanks for clarifying what's pop and what's punk and what's not.
That's what I'm here for. So, all right. Well, Brandon, let's get into our conversation with Jason Dunn. All right. Well, today's a super exciting day for us. We have a special guest with us, Brandon, one that we're both pretty pumped about today. We are honored to have Mr. Jason Dunn on the podcast with us today. Jason, how's it going, man?
What's up? I thought you were going to introduce me as the Timu Josh Dunn.
I've thought about it.
Set you up for that. It was glorious.
Oh, yeah, that would have been so good. People would have known right away what's going on. It's awesome. Now Brandon has to tell the story.
You have to.
Yeah.
It's a great story.
Yeah, when we were trying to book Jason for the podcast, I told Joel, like, hey, I'm trying to get Jason on. And when he finally committed, I sent a message to Joel, and it autocorrected to Josh. So I was like, hey, man, just letting you know, Josh Dunn, like, he said he's good for the episode. And Joel's like, what?
Who's Josh Dunn? Okay.
And then I showed up and totally ruined the moment.
It's been really awkward the whole time we're just asking 21 pilot questions. And Jason's like,
You
yeah,
still
man,
should.
it's cool. But
It's so great. That's
Well, it's great to
awesome.
be here, fellas.
Yeah,
Thanks for
man.
having me.
We're really thrilled. This is cool. I was involved in student ministry. So long story short, always super into like the tooth and nail, punk rock scene, whatever. But got plugged into working with students and then being a youth pastor. And so it was like in that era when Hawk Nelson was like hitting its like real strides. And so I remember like buying your records, playing them for youth group, and then like also secretly like loving them myself, which is really awesome. And so
That was supposed to be a giveaway, and you kept it for yourself. A classic youth pastor move.
I mean,
right
yeah,
there.
I had that whole thing where you like subscribe and they send you a certain number of CDs
Oh,
and then
yeah.
like the DVD to like play the videos while kids are coming in. And I'm like, I'm going to keep that Hawk Nelson CD for myself. So-
You kid, you're getting a bookmark today.
Oh, it's super fun. Yeah, but I've just loved your music, loved your journey. So pumped to talk to
Thank
you.
you.
Brandon's got
Thanks.
even more of a history.
It's funny you say that. Hawk Nelson both introduced me to my like first girlfriend, but also was there for me whenever that relationship ended up ending. So Hawk Nelson felt like that buddy that was like, "Hey man, look at that girl across the room." Then afterwards, like, "Oh, it's okay, it didn't work out."
We just cover all the bases, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that, but all right, it's great. I love it. Well, Jason, again, man, we're honored to have you and excited to kind of get to chat and kind of just walk through like what makes Jason Dunn Jason Dunn. So.
Yeah, so starting off, Jason, so what was it about music that first drew you in?
Man, the very first introduction I had to music, I was in kindergarten, and I went to like a Christian school, and I was ripping through my classroom, and I had to rip through the church auditorium, and in the auditorium there was the piano teacher. She was giving music lessons, and it was piano and violin.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this girl in my class was taking violin lessons, and I slowed my pace down coming back from the bathroom, and I was listening to this little girl. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So I wanted to play violin.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 4 years old, and I asked my parents if I could do violin lessons, and they opted to put me in piano instead. So, yeah, long story short, I was playing piano since I was 4 years old. Absolutely loved it. And I knew from the time I was about 12 years old that music was like my actual calling in life.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
it's weird because like as an adult, I just assumed everybody knows their calling in life because of my experience in music and stuff. But it's weird that not everyone knows their true calling in life. And that's so sad to me.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
I was 4. That's the easy.
What were some of the like early bands and stuff or artists that got you really excited when you started enjoying music?
Yeah, well, I grew up in a very conservative Christian home. So I couldn't even listen to Petra.
Oh, tragedy.
Put it this way, if Hawk Nelson was around when I was a kid, I would certainly not be allowed to listen to Hawk Nelson. So the only band or artist I listened to, and this is no joke, was Michael W. Smith.
Yeah.
And I was like the biggest Smitty fan. And then when I was getting older, I was around 10. I think I was around 10 years old. I went to my friend's house after school for a sleepover, and his brother was listening to Green Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard it, and I I legit like fell in love with this music. And I was like, that sounds so good. Like it was fast, it was heavy, the guitar was cool, and I wanted to learn how to play guitar. And I learned guitar from the song When I Come Around by Green Day because of my friend's brother Andrew. And that's what started my love for punk rock. And yeah, it never stopped from then.
I love that. Parents, that's what happens when you send your kids to sleepovers.
That's right. Life change
They get
happens.
exposed to Green Day.
Yeah.
So what was the bridge like then from that point to like actually you getting involved in Christian music and like finding your place and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we Hawk Nelson started indirectly when I was 12 years old. My dad was the worship leader in our church, and the drummer of the church worship team, his son Dave and I started a band when we were 12, and we just wrote a bunch of songs together, and they weren't good songs. And then when high school started the following year, I kind of branched out. We went to different high schools, and I met 3 buddies in school, and we started a band, and we added Dave to our band, and we became the youth worship band in youth group. And we were also writing our own stuff. And so we were just kind of playing wherever we could. So Friday night youth services, we'd ask our youth pastor if we could play our originals from 6:30 till they opened the doors at 7 for the worship service. So we could play for 30 minutes our own stuff. And then by 7 p.m., he's like, all right, guys, last song. We got to get back into the worship service now. So that's how we started. And then at 17 years old, I knew, like I think, like I mentioned, like I didn't have a plan B. Like I was going to be in a band. Nothing was going to stop me. And that's when I started Hawk Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided, okay, we drew our line in the sand saying, okay, we're not going to be the worship team anymore. We're going to be a punk rock band. Let's harness all of our energy into making uplifting pop punk music for kids that need something good in their lives
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy that music like us. And so that's what we did. And we did that till I was, 32, 33 years old.
Mm-hmm. So I remember last year when we saw you, you told the story about like going and recording, I think like the first demos or like the first like CD. Can you tell us like that story about, I think it was something like a contest or something you guys won or something?
Yep. We won the millennium, the 1999 2000 year countdown. We won the Battle of the Bands that year, and whatever band won, they got to play the countdown, the actual New Year's countdown for the whole city. And we also won like 40 hours recording time at a studio in town. And so that was kind of our thing. And yeah, we won, and then we got to play the countdown, and it was negative 40 degrees. And it was that bad because I still remember how bad it was. They had to put like heaters on the stage, and it didn't help at all. So I remember that, and then I remember us going and recording this EP, and which started Hawk Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
And our friend Trevor was in a band, 1,000 Foot Crutch, and he was always kind of like a big brother to us. And he used to come and check out our practices and telling us about signing with Tooth and Nail Records. And we're like, man, that's like our dream.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like MXPX was like one of my favorite bands growing up, and
Amen.
they were signed to Tooth and Nail Records. So, you know, like we would just entertain the idea that that'd be a dream come true, but it would never actually happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully, Trev took our EP that we had recorded, took it to Tooth and Nail himself. Is like, hey, check these guys out. They're like my kid brothers, you know. He kind of sold us like that, and the label believed him, and they brought us in and added us to their family, and it was a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. I keep trying to tell Brandon about the glories of MXPX, but I haven't sold him yet. So they just played here in Charleston like a month or so ago, and it was so good. So, yeah.
Best, yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome. So, you guys, as Hawk Nelson, you always were super creative in like the way you package things and put things together. Posters, board games, like where did all of that creativity kind of come from?
You know what, man? Like I said this the other day to someone, and people behind the scenes of Hawk Nelson, like the brand of Hawk Nelson, weren't just four guys. I will say we had the top team in Nashville when it came to management, to labels, to booking, to artwork. The entire team was just top notch. So everything we did, I mean, we worked hard at the songs we crafted and created, but the team behind it was like pulling a lot of the weight, and they were always behind the scenes, and they never really got the credit they deserved. But like Tooth and Nail, those guys were just so unbelievable. Like their art department, they did so great, and they did amazing things for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, music's only so much of the package, right? People would buy our albums because they saw the cool artwork, and oh, there's a game in this CD. I'm like, I don't even know what this band is. I'm gonna check out this game. This comes with a bobblehead. Like, get out of here. Like, I can't say the band can take much credit for any of that. So we had a top tier team that really took care of all of that for us, and we would not be where we went if it weren't for them. So
that's really cool. So for me personally, as someone who's seen you perform in a 10,000 person arena, in a 30 person like coffee shop setting, can you tell me a little bit about playing in such different venues? And do you have one that like you prefer to perform in?
Well, those are also different seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when we were at the height of our careers, we were playing these massive arenas. But at the same token, those arenas, those 10,000 people weren't there to watch Hawk Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
It was an event of sorts, you know? So you're getting Hawk Nelson, you're getting, I don't know, Mercy Me, you're getting a comedian, you're getting a full like circus at the end of the night. People are paying $10 to check out this a circus, and you don't really know what you're going to get, but you're going to get something that's going to be entertaining and spiritual, and all these different pieces that make for a great evening. But to be honest with you, if I could choose, I would much rather have 30 or 300 people show up just to hear what you have to do, because they're dedicated and they're there for one reason, and that's to sing along with you. And again, these are different seasons. Where I am today, I would love showing up when there's like 60 or 70 people and they're there just to sing along, and you get to spend 10 minutes with each person before and after the show.
Yeah.
I love that. And they love that. And it makes for like a beautiful chemistry between the fan and the artist. And you can't do that in a 10,000 seat arena. You know what I mean? Now, if I got offered to do a 10,000 seat arena, I would for sure jump on that. But, you know, I do appreciate both, I guess.
Yeah. I know for me growing up, like, I feel like I didn't go to a real concert until I went to like Winter Jam, you know, like, and I was like, okay, I've been to a quote unquote real concert, but like now, like I tell people that if you can find your artist playing at a venue that's like under 1,000 people, like those are things to go to. Yeah. And even last year, it was so cool because you've got kids there, you know, if they went to like a, you know, Josiah Queen concert or whatever, like it would be difficult for him to sit there and take 10 minutes with, you know, all arena full of people. But like last year, it was so cool seeing that like you had these people in line that like range from people who, you know, their whole life listen to Hawk Nelson. But then you have kids that are like, oh man, they're just now starting to discover, you know, like your solo stuff as well as that. And like for me, it was cool just to sit back and be like, man, each person that came here tonight, they got to have a chance to like chat with Jason and share, you know, what your music did like for them. And I was like, man, these are the concerts, you know, like that I love to go to.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you the same question. Which would you prefer, a 10,000 seat arena or a 50 seated coffee shop?
Oh yeah. 50 seated. I need time to sit there. I ramble too much. So I need like 30 minutes to be like,
man, I'm telling you, there's this certain intimacy that happens in those nights, you know, and you, like this last one I did, it doubled in size. You know, I was getting closer to 80 people, but that's still, you can still handle that.
Yeah.
And like throughout the show, like most of I had like an idea for a set, but then people could just yell out like, hey, can you play Live Life Loud? And I'm like, no, but let's try it. And it makes for like a fun night too. And no one leaves disappointed.
Yeah.
That's cool.
At least to my knowledge.
I'm sure those smaller environments too give you, it seems like they've given you an opportunity to kind of be vulnerable, share your story, like your faith, kind of the ups and downs. Like what's kind of led you to want to like open up about your life and kind of the history of all that in those environments?
Yeah, you know what? For someone that grew up in the church, and you would look at people in leadership or people in authority in the church, and you would just assume that their lives are just perfect. And in the same token, fans of mine or fans of Hawk Nelson, they'd show up to shows and they would look at us the same way we would look at pastors. You know, you're suddenly given this authoritative figure and you're put on this pedestal, which I am quickly this time around, I am trying to remove. But they look at us with this, like, we won't screw up because we're perfect. And then when you see someone in authority fall or lose faith or something like that, something that like shocked and like disappointed in you, I want to be able to be vulnerable enough with people to let them know, like, hey, I was up here and I don't want to say God brought me down here, but the actions I had taken in my own life caused me to come back down to a certain level to be like, man, I cannot do this on my own. And people in the church need to hear that just as much as people out of the church. And I didn't know that till more recently in my life as an adult, that like people in the church struggle just as much as people outside of the church. And I know that my story helps them with that. And if I can lead one person back to faith through my story, then it's worth it. So I take this story with me every night. And it's really, really cool to see life change happening each and every night.
Man, I love that. I think it's so easy sometimes for us to like struggle to keep like main things.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about art and think about, does art exist for the sake of art? Does it exist for something greater? I believe it exists for something greater
Mm-hmm.
and to point to something greater. And, and so just to take advantage of that and use like what God has gifted you in and blessed you in as a way and a means, to show like, yes, I am real and I have made mistakes. But you know what? There's a God that's a lot bigger than my mistakes. And just use your music and your story. I think that's so powerful. And I think that's going to resonate with like a generation that's struggling to figure that out, because I feel like so many people in our generation have they've hit rock bottom and never found their way back. And so I
Yeah.
think the more stories that we can tell of
Mm-hmm.
God stepping in and intervening in those moments is just awesome. So I'm super thankful that you're doing that and sharing your story.
Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So over the years, you've gotten to tour with a ton of bands. Is there one or two that stood out to you as your favorite?
No, I think I hated all of them. No, you know what, man? Like, the first one that comes to mind is Toby.
Mm-hmm.
Because for one, like I grew up as a DC Talk fan. Like I was a Christian. My parents let me listen to DC Talk.
There
You
you
know,
go.
like Jesus Freak was like one of those formative albums, I think, for so many artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know, probably 11 years old when that came out, and it was just like unbelievable. So like to be able to, for one, meet Toby Mac at a young part in our career,
Mm-hmm.
and then to continue to tour them throughout my career, was just unreal. And Toby, he was always the real deal. You know what I mean? Like he was just one of those guys that just loves Jesus. And not to say that the other guys that we were touring with didn't, but there was a realness about his relationship. Like he just seemed to be one of those guys that just seemed to always just walk with God behind the stage, on stage. What he was on stage was the same person off the stage. And I always admired that about him. And I don't know. So that was just, he's just my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
He's my favorite. Well, like probably even today, one of my favorite human beings. Another band that I was never, not that I wasn't a fan, but like I never really listened to them, but like Switchfoot.
Mm-hmm.
So many bands you tour with, you know, every night you could basically quote what they're going to say from stage every night.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, Switchfoot had like a different show every night. And it was just as powerful than it was the night before. You're like, man, this is still good. Like I could watch this again tonight and not get tired of it. You know what I mean? So those are the two that stick out to me the most.
That's really cool.
I love that. So, man, with all your like time in Hawk Nelson, on the road, part of the music industry, experiencing all these different things, what are like one or two like big like takeaways that you've kind of walked away from that with, or maybe things that you've learned that you would want to impart to somebody else just as a part of your journey?
It's funny, man. I've been working at a church for I was on staff for 7 years at a church, and then I led as a volunteer for a year. So 8 years I was leading at a church.
Yeah.
And I just stopped at Christmas time to do music again full time as Jason Dunn. But what I learned in those years of leadership in a church is leading. I learned how to lead people. And I wish I had what I know today. I wish I had that in my days with Hawk Nelson. But I say all that because for years when we first started as Hawk Nelson, we used to go around kind of like fighting with the industry, be like, we're not a Christian band. We're just four Christians that want to be in a band. Like we would try to get all defensive about, don't call us that. But I didn't know how to explain why. I think because we were just so young. But I will go on the record and say, like, I don't make music just for Christians. My music is created for everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put these barriers up where people are like, oh, that guy, oh, he's in the Christian band, so I don't want to, that's going to be weird. My music is for everybody.
Yeah.
I play on a soccer team, like an old timer soccer team in my town here. And I use my soccer team as my model when I was writing my music.
Mm-hmm.
As strange as that sounds, I'm like, if I release this, can I take this to my game on Friday, hand this out to my team, or would they be creeped out by it?
Yeah.
That was my gauge. And I took my records on Friday night and I gave it to a few of the guys. Hey, check this out. You might be into this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious what they're gonna think of it. But like, my music's never been preachy.
Mm-hmm.
But because we were signed to a Christian record label, we were part of the game. We were part of the business.
Yeah.
And if you've been paying attention to the Christian music industry, it's kind of falling apart because all these people that were put on that same pedestal I was talking about that I'm trying to remove, they're all coming out saying, I don't believe in God anymore, or this was never real to me. And the reason was when you're put on that pedestal so fast and so quick, people are expecting you to be something that you're not.
Yeah.
And you can only fake it for so long, like I did. And eventually you're going to burn out and you're just going to rage quit. And that's exactly what happened to me. And it's happening to so many different artists you see. And so now when I hear things with people falling away from God or deconstructing their faith, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sucks, but I kind of saw that coming. Because the industry is a business. It's like anything. And it was only a matter of time. And we're just starting to see the fruits of that coming now. So you've got to be honest with yourself, be vulnerable with yourself, be vulnerable with your audience, and like, just be real with your faith. Let Jesus be real to you. And through that, it should spur the real fruits of the Spirit should be burning inside of you. When you have Christ living inside of you, those fruits, they come into you. The Holy Spirit moves inside of you and should be living inside of you. And that's got to come through your music. It shouldn't be the other way around. Oh, we should write something super spiritual, hoping it gets on radio. That's gross. And that should not happen. And that needs to stop. It's funny because these songs, I believe they are inspired by the Holy Spirit. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, Christian radio won't put this on the radio. And I'm okay with that now.
Yeah.
That's not my goal. My goal is for people that just want to listen to something that's upbeat. And they're like, man, this actually is doing something for my soul. That's awesome. For me, that's the whole goal right there. And music in this phase of my career is secondary. Like I said, to be able to meet people every night and be able to share my faith with them and just share my story, my walk, and where God's taking me today, it's way different from where he was taking me 15 years ago. Or maybe it was the same, but I'm just in a different headspace today, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's good. We have that conversation about the industry, and I do think, man, we've seen the fruits of that falling apart for so long. I mean,
it needs to end.
Yeah.
There, I said it.
Yeah, and
it just needs to quit.
Yeah, and I
The
think
gospel is not meant to be sold. The gospel is free and for everybody. Get out of here.
Amen.
This gets me fired up every time. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'm with you. Yeah, the commercialization of Jesus is just not something. I mean, that's the stuff that Jesus turned over,
Dude, and I was a part of that for so long.
Yeah.
No, get out of here.
But I do think, though, that there's kind of something we talk about a lot is there's kind of a rebirth happening of not inside of like an industry and record labels anymore now, but just of artists that love Jesus, that are making music. And I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I'm here for like kind of what's beginning to happen. The danger, of course, is that it turns into a machine again. And so, but I think that there are a lot of artists that are trying to do something different. And even like with what you're doing right now, I think that's a great example of how that's happening. And I think that's really exciting.
That's why I love coffee shops too, because it's a neutral area. It's not scary for people that don't go to church or don't believe in God, but also people that do go to church that maybe still aren't sure about where they stand with their faith. It's a perfect neutral place.
I love that.
So we wanted to talk a little bit about your new album, formerly known as. I know for me and Joel, like it's been pretty much on repeat, like since it dropped. Can you tell us a little bit about like making the album?
Yeah, I'm still kind of in shock today. Like, it's been out. I'm not sure when you're airing this, but today it's been out for 2 days, and I kind of set this kind of target in my mind of what I'm hoping the reach would be. And I'm coming from I'm coming from a career that was like we were pretty successful. You know, we had a lot of sales. We had a massive fan base, you know what I mean? And you know that. And so to go from that to just having a full run team, an amazing operation, it was a well-oiled machine. Like I said, everything was done really well, to having everybody to suddenly having nobody. That was a really, really scary thing. And I think that's why it's taken me so long to put music out, because when you have everything working for you so well, you're like, well, I know there's no way it's going to reach that caliber. So I'm like, why try? That was kind of the attitude I've always had. And I didn't want to fail. I didn't want people to be like, oh, this guy is not what I thought he was. Like, this is not like Hawk Nelson at all. So that was the internal struggle I've had for 15 years.
Yeah.
So that eventually I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to do this. If I don't do it for them, I'm doing it for myself. If I don't do this today, I'm going to kick myself in 10 years, be like, I should have. And I was already feeling that point in my life just stirring inside of me. So I'm just like, you know what, enough's enough. Let's just record this. And so I did it. I spent all last year recording it. And these songs have been birthed inside of me for the last 15 years. And there's a maturity to them, lyrically anyways, talking about my rebirth in Christ, my wife, my kids, my family, starting over again with the fear of maybe not succeeding. Like, there's a good possibility that this isn't going to work out, and I need to be okay with that. So that's what all these songs are about. I wrote a song to my band. Well, you've heard the album. It's called Dear Hawk.
Yeah.
The things that like I always wanted to say but didn't really know how to say it. I didn't know how to get the words out of my mouth, so I just put it together in a song. You know what I mean? And this is the first time in my life I've ever written from my own perspective. Every Hawk album was written from the perspective of our listeners. What do our fans need to hear about? How can we address their things that they're dealing with? But this is the first time I've written from my own heart. And like, this is my life. This is the stuff that I've been dealing with. Maybe you guys can relate to this as well and get something out of it too. And hopefully that's true. But yeah, man, today I looked, and so again, as I said, I hope in the first 2 or 3, I hope by the weekend I was going to get like 1 to 2,000 streams. I thought that'd be really cool. That'd be a cool start to my new season of this life, you know? And I woke up this morning getting ready for church, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm almost at 8,000.
That's awesome.
I was like, I didn't expect that. And I got home from church. I'm like, I better check, and it's over 10,000 streams now. So like, I'm shocked. Like, it blows my mind that people are still listening to my music, and it's not run by an industry that like, you know, sign with us and we'll get you this many streams in a month. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And they're like, they're talking about 10 to 25,000 streams a month. I'm like, well, that's for a lot of money. That's a big percentage they're asking for. But it's like, I did this on my own and I'm already getting there. So I'm shocked. I'm overwhelmed. Like, the feeling I have is gratitude, because I didn't expect it. You know what I mean? And I'm beyond thankful and grateful. And yeah, I didn't expect it. So it's crazy. And yeah, I really didn't think, and I guess when I left Hawk in 2012, the discussion the band was having in my absence, but I was still present, I was still a part of the organization, was the plan was for them to move on without me and just kind of delete me from everything. So they pulled all the Hawk Nelson videos that I was a part of. The albums they kept up for whatever reason, but they were just trying to erase what I had done, which I understand from a business standpoint, but keep the name because there's so much equity in what I had built for 15 years, which is weird to think about. But when I left, deep down, I'm like, okay, people will be upset for like a month. And then John's going to continue on and I'll just kind of get forgotten. And that's cool. I was kind of over it anyways. But then like a month went by and people were like, we need you back. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. Then 6 months went by, and then a year went by, and then 5 years went by, then 10 years went by, and then 15 years, people were like, when are you coming out? Can you get the band back together? Can you make music? I'm like, oh my gosh, like, okay, I think I need to keep doing this. You know what I mean? And so all that, the push from the fans that just wanted me to keep doing it was really, it put the wind in my sails, and it gave me motivation to do this again. So, and I've got 3 kids that were like, want to see what their dad can do. And like, you know, I want to prove them that I'm not just a nerd, you know, and I could be cool sometimes. So
That's awesome.
I
What
think
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think we were talking the other day that this is the first like Jason Dunn like associated project that's been made on vinyl because we
Yeah.
couldn't find any Hawk Nelson that was like on vinyl.
Yeah, I don't think
So-
Hawk did anything either. At least not while I was part of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't find anything, which
So
is
we're
fun
like,
because
that's
I'm a
pretty cool.
huge I'm a
Yeah.
huge vinyl nerd. So I love
Okay, because I'm not. I was like, I don't think people listen to vinyl, do they?
that. We
I
do.
could not have been more wrong.
We do for sure.
I'm
What-
almost out again. I've had to pre-order or order like twice now.
Oh, that's awesome.
I guess it's a good problem, but I was like, I was shocked.
What are a couple of the tracks that you're really excited about on the new record?
Like I said, they're all super personal to me. So like, I'd say I don't have a favorite, but I do think Dear Hawk
Mhm.
is one that really, I got emotional writing it.
Yeah.
And I've only played it live a handful of times. And every time I've played, I'm like, the first time I ever tried, I'm like, I'm not going to get through this. And I like started breaking down in the bridge. I'm like, this is getting super emo, but I kind of loved it. And I'm like, so every time I play it, I'm like, man, this is like, it hits you right in the feels. And not just for me, I think for everybody in the audience who are like, you don't have to explain the song and they hear it, they're like, I fully get what you're saying right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I've actually heard that in some of the people have been, commenting or messaging me all weekend about like, I get what this song means a lot to me because I know what you're saying by this. And that's
Mhm.
that's pretty stinking cool. Even talking about my kids, I'm like, the whole album is kind of a journal of my life for the last 15 years, right? So I felt a little bit weird about putting songs about my kids on there, but I'm like, they're a huge part of my life. So I'm like, I want them to be a part of the DNA of this album, right?
Mhm.
And so but people are like, I get it. Like I have a kid and that makes a lot of sense to me hearing these stories. I'm like, man, that's cool. So
Yeah.
the song Ryan's song for my son, I actually wrote that song in the I went into it when my wife was pregnant. We went into the ultrasound room to check for his heartbeat and stuff. And I pulled out my phone when it said I wasn't supposed to, and I recorded his heartbeat on the monitor, and I just got the dum, dum, and I got the BPM was 120 BPMs, and I wrote the song to his heartbeat,
That's
and
so
that
cool.
song starts with his heartbeat. I don't know if you noticed that or not, and I threw it into the album. And so it's like, I don't know, it's kind of cool. Like the heartbeat of my children is in the DNA of the album, and I just thought that was kind of a cool thing.
That's really awesome. Well, you've been busy lately since you jumped back into this kind of music thing full time. Not only do you have this solo project, but I remember like hearing that this was coming, and then all of a sudden you dropped this other album with this project Dunner at the same time. Lots of stuff going on. Like, what are you just kind of excited about for like the future, music wise?
Yeah, I mean, this is it. Dunner is like it's a band that I do with my wife. We do it every St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
We play one show a year, and it's a blast. But it's funny because my wife's from Ireland, and I had this project right when I started Hawk Nelson, and when I met with a producer in Ireland, and we were just kind of chatting over Zoom or whatever, and he was like, "Yeah, he's like, I got some ideas for this album," and he's like, "I got some guys here that can play all these instruments and will really Celtify it for us." I'm like, okay, let's hear it. And so he ended up sending me the versions. I'm like, oh, this is so good. I'm like, we'll never be able to do this live, but I'm like, I don't care. This is so sick. I was like, just take my money. But yeah, we do it once a year, and yeah, it's when I do it like from March to like April, I'm gung ho about that, and I like really push it. And,
Yeah.
dude, we should do like 8 more shows, and I'm like, no, that's a terrible idea. Focus. But yeah, right now I'm just really excited to get this new music out, and the response has been incredible. Like I said, I'm shocked. The whole tone of this is like I'm pleasantly surprised, and I don't mean that in a self-deprecating way. Like I'm sincerely, genuinely beyond grateful for what everyone has said, and I'm so glad they love it. Right now I'm in the process of trying to figure out, like, I did Hawk Nelson for so long, so I know that was a influential part of a lot of people's teenage lives, right? So now they're growing up, they're adults. They still want to sing those songs, and I totally understand that. So I'm going to show up. I'm planning a West Coast tour right now. I'm going to show up there, and I'm going to give them the goods. I'm going to give them Hawk Nelson. I'm going to give them the songs they want. But at the same time, I want them to get familiar with this new stuff.
Yeah.
And give them kind of the best of both worlds. And then I do hope in 20 years I'll be still on the road playing these songs, and there's kids are gonna be growing up being like, oh, I hope they play Billy and Forcy or whatever, you know what I mean? And just keep building it. And it's just a weird line right now, because I've always been known as the Hawk Nelson guy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm treating this album as like the Hawk Nelson album that never was. If I was still in Hawk Nelson, what would the album sound like? And that was the approach I took. And it was a fun challenge, but I happily accepted the challenge, and yeah, I hope I didn't disappoint. So
it's great, man. So with the album, I'm sure you had some other musicians who came and jumped in. Is any of those guys translating to live shows? Like, are you doing full band stuff?
No, because all the guys, or 99% of the guys, are all Canadian.
Yeah.
And they're in my church. So like, we're dads. We work jobs. You mean? So it was like a fun, like, hey, do you want to help out here?
That's cool.
The drummer Mike and Ian, I've actually never met them. We met over Zoom. And like, hey, like, it was a friend of a friend. He was like, hey, I got this guy Michael. He's near Toronto, which I'm 2 hours from Toronto. But he's like, and so I was like, dude, okay. I'm like, let's try it. So I tried with one song, sent the demo, like, with the idea of what the drums are, and like, I have my MIDI drums, which are crappy. And he sent it back. And I was like, oh, dang. Like when you start with a demo and then the drums get thrown in, like real drums, you're like, okay, I can see where this is actually going to go now. And that kind of became the heartbeat for the entire album. So like, okay, well, here's 2 more songs. Can you play on this too? I was like, oh, dang, this is way better than I would have ever imagined. So it just kind of went like that. And then buddies were just adding on to it. And then my friend Ryan like helped mix it and just throw on like the treats that I'm not a good guitar player. So I will I have voice memos off. I'm like, hey, can you try like this? And I'll do like a guitar part with my mouth. Yeah. And then he'll actually translate. Like, I'm like, oh, dude, that's way better than I thought. You know, it's like, okay, that's amazing. So that was how this entire process worked.
That's cool.
So, it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a first time thing trying it like that, but I loved it.
I think that's really cool. That's a nice peek behind the curtain. That's fun. Cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, I guess closing out, Jason, like, so where can people find the album, and where can they find you at online?
Jason Dunn. I believe Jason Dunn Music on Instagram and Facebook. That's all I've got. To my knowledge, I don't have anything else. There's probably, if you look me up, maybe I'm there, but it's not me. I'm only on Instagram and Facebook because I'm a dad and I'm that old.
It's probably that Josh Dunn guy.
Yeah. Got a lot more followers than me. I'm certain of that. But if I know you guys are into vinyls, if you're watching and you're into vinyls or you want the physical, I'm all about selling physical because streams don't pay anything. And it is my business now. So if it's my business, I'll sell it as a business. Sales are better than streams. Ticket sales are better than followers. So jasondunn.bandcamp.com is where you can buy all my physical stuff, and check it out. I've got all sorts of stuff there, and yeah, I'm heading out on the road in August to the West Coast, and then I've got to plan another East Coast run. So we'll keep in touch about that, boys, and see what we can do down in Charleston.
That'd be awesome. We love that.
It would be awesome.
Well, man, this has been so cool for us. So we appreciate you taking time to chat with us. And we're so excited about this record and just helping promote it in any way that we can. But thanks for taking time to chat and being vulnerable and real about who you are. And I know you have a gift of that, like God's using you in that way. And I'm just thankful that you got to come and tell your story here with us. We're really grateful for it. So.
Well, I certainly appreciate you guys having me on today too. It was a blast.
That's awesome. Well, man, thank you so much. And we're going to keep pointing people your direction. And super grateful that we had the chance to chat today.
Thanks, guys.
It's so fun getting to talk to Jason and get into everything that's going on with his new solo project. Let's talk about what our lyric of the week is.
It's time for the lyric of the it's time.
Yeah, so our lyric of the week comes off of his new EP that just dropped. And we're going to pull from January 10th. And it says, You are the candle in my life that keeps me going strong. You are what keeps me shining in the dark. You're the reason why I feel the way that I feel now. And you're why I believe in miracles.
It's good stuff. It's a great record.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really enjoying it so far. So awesome. Well, hey, thank you guys again for joining us. We're always so thankful and grateful for that. Today's been really fun being able to have Jason on and being able to have you listen. You can find us on all the places online, Instagram, Facebook. We'd love it if you subscribe to the podcast, if you want to share it out. We're just grateful that you come back week after week and hang out with us. And so we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Hey, are you listening?